We've got Matthew Miller on the line. Matthew hosts our post game for the Texas Longhorns. And let's move to that offensive line. So, sore spot for so many years, but much improved, and the recruiting's finally paying off.
Yeah, 100%. You got everyone coming back. You had Kelvin Banks, true freshman, where if he keeps doing what he's doing on campus, he's going to be a first-round pick if he can just keep progressing. I mean, that guy was lights out other than one game last year. Then you have Cole Hudson, another freshman who was inconsistent, but you can see the talent there at guard. You have Hayden Connor coming back. Christian Jones, who's on like 6th year, is coming back. So their whole offensive line returns. And then you also have Devon Campbell, who was the #1 offensive lineman coming out of high school last year. He's still there. Neto Umazulu. It's hard to pronounce, but that's his name. He's a 4-star recruit. And then Malik Ogbo is also a 4-star recruit, or he was either high star 3-star or low 4-star recruit. These are very talented guys, and these are your backups. Those are 3 guys that are going to compete for the starting job with the 5 returning. And if an injury happens, I feel pretty confident with 2 of those guys, and Neto and Devon Campbell, of playing good games. But it's finally here. We finally have an offensive line to where you can be pretty confident in it. Last year, I was not confident going into the season. They gained my trust throughout the season, and this has been a weak point. Texas has always had wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. The offensive line, they haven't. If you go back and look under Tom Herman and Charlie Strong, through that whole class, I believe one guy was taken in the first round of the NFL draft, and that's Connor Williams. And I don't even think he was taken in the first round. I think he was a 2nd round pick, but that's like the only blue chip guy that we had going in the NFL. That's not acceptable in an 8 to 9 year stretch at the University of Texas.
So I saw Texas play quite a bit last season. I'm guessing 5 or 6 games. The one that stands out to me in regards to offensive line play was to the negative side. TCU seemed to manhandle them and were all over Ewers the entire night. Was that pretty much an aberration?
Yeah, that game and the Oklahoma State game was kind of a weird game for the offensive line. But other than that, they played very well. I mean, look at the Alabama game. Will Anderson was pretty much silent in that game, and he's going to be the first defensive player taken off the board in the NFL draft. But yes, TCU gave us struggles. This team, to me, struggled more with the speed on the outside rushing because that's what TCU had. They didn't really have big bulldozers. Whereas if you power rush this team, they're very big. They're gigantic human beings. That's what Kyle Flood wants. So I think the footwork probably has to get better on speed rushes, but on bull rushes, they seem fine. And I'm very confident in this offensive line moving forward, especially with Kyle Flood coaching it.